The September 15th, may I add, Yu-Gi-Oh! Ban list is here! Let's go, baby! Today, big dogs, I'm going to be breaking down the new Yu-Gi-Oh! Ban list and what does it mean for our Yu-Gi-Oh! Meta. Let's go ahead and jump on in. What's going on with y'all, big dogs? And it is an amazing day for Yu-Gi-Oh! I hope that your day phenomenal. But if it isn't, don't let what happened at the beginning of your day ruin the rest of your day. Here we are, big dogs, the 2025 Yu-Gi-Oh! Ban list, September 15th, may I add. September 15th, may I add. All those people in the back, y'all was hating me. Y'all was doubting your boy. Go ahead and post your apologies down below. I do accept it, and welcome back to the game. We're going to be talking about the Yu-Gi-Oh! Ban list that just happened, and there are quite the few things that we got right. A couple of things that make so much sense, but more importantly, I'm going to be breaking down the ban list for all of you guys. The most important things here are the ban cards. They actually are very impactful. Moon of the Closed Heaven, Splash Mage, King of Feral Imps, and Paradise Smasher, all banned. Now, I would say Splash Mage is completely left field, but it makes sense. The reason why Splash Mage getting banned makes sense is because this card allows decks to be able to climb really fast. And when I mean decks, I do mean Cyber's decks in general, but Malice in particular. This card is very powerful because it gives you almost instant access to cards like Access Code Talker and other monsters with just two monsters. Essentially, it becomes a Link 2 two monsters becomes a Link 4, with the only drawback for the rest of the turn being locked into Cyber's archetypes. Let me make sure I got that right. I'm pretty sure it's the rest of the turn, which is even more powerful than you can't use this effect per turn. Because if I remember correctly, well, this deck's kind of dead. If I remember correctly, it is for the rest of the turn. So Splash Mage, it says for the rest of the turn. And the card that I was thinking about that does say for the turn is Transcode Talker. You know, a card that basically means any two monsters equal 4. They didn't use that, but for Malice, it very much means two monsters equal a rank 4 very, very easily, or any monster into their in their arsenal. King of Feral Imps ban also makes sense. The Mitsurugi cards are very powerful, and being able to go from Raizio combo into Mitsurugi only gets stronger when Dooms of Dimension comes out, I believe. So that actually does make so much sense. Being able to go 2 level 4 monsters into complete Mitsurugi combo. The card isn't even once per turn. Huge blow for decks, other reptile-based Yu-Gi-Oh! Decks, but almost a necessary evil at this point. Paradise Smasher definitely decided a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! Games, unfortunately. It did make Yu-Gi-Oh! Cards that were strong not as strong. Like, for example, if you got Molchemi Flawless, which is a more balanced version of Maxi, Vanquish Soul players or players that had access to rank 5s would just make Paradise Smasher. Didn't care about how many cards did you draw, because if you can't stop this card, then you do lose your entire turn more than likely. Also, Nibiru the Primal Being was a must play against this card, just simply because it was one of the only ways to out it. You needed Nibiru plus another interaction. So definitely not a healthy card. I agree with everything banned here. Moon of the Closed Heaven was something that a lot of players said, if you ban this card, Fiendsmith is now a Light Fiend exclusive archetype, which I kind of have to agree with. In our prediction list, we went around the bush and hit all the Fiendsmith cards. Somebody did mention Moon of the Closed Heaven is a better band, and this is their address to it. Moving on to Limited. Holy yo, what is going on here, big dogs? We were right about Malice P. Dormouse. We were right about Fiendsmith Lacrima. We were right about Summon Sorceress. We were right about Herald of Arclight. We were right about Obedience Schooled. In the back of my mind, Solemn Judgment was also another card. And allow me to break down why Solemn Judgment is pretty powerful. So when you're going into the next round, your game 2s or your game 3s, and you're going first, Solemn Judgment is an instant answer to any of your opponent's best cards. It actually is the answer to your opponent's best summons, their best spell cards, their best board breaker cards. A hit to Solemn Judgment is actually a good thing for board breaker Yu-Gi-Oh! Players. You're actually doing so much more better at this point in time, and the card is incredibly powerful. X-Rizio, Malice to P. Dormouse. I think with these hits, Konami is officially announcing that it wasn't necessarily a mistake to make Yu-Gi-Oh! Really fast and one-card combo-y, but we're going to tone that down to allow almost every strategy in the game to be able to compete, at least for right now. It still remains to be seen if Konami is going to allow players, or if Konami is going to give support to some of those older decks so they can keep up with the Rizio, Vanquish Soul K9, Yummy type combos that we've been seeing, so they can be able to compete and then bring these cards off the list. But for right now, I do think these are good hits. Link Grebo and Summon Sorceress off the list. This is very fine. Summon Sorceress just recently got an errata that makes it way less powerful. Link Grebo has... a lot of people say it was an unfair hit. It coming off the list is perfectly fine. Herald of Arclight, we talked about how this card was an almost necessary hit, and it's strictly because Herald of Arclight is being ran in 2 in Yummy, and they can go double Arclight from time to time. That's very, very oppressive in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Card game. It's essentially like having 2 Baron de Floors. Zodiac Dryden off the list. I don't think anybody really cares. Crystron Inclusion is a hit to Crystron, which, as you guys can see in this list, they decided not to hit any of the K9, any of the Draco Tail, and any of the Yummy. Now, granted, I don't think they were ever hitting any of the Draco Tail, but they hit K9 in Yummy indirectly, limiting the Arclight, the Obedient School, and now hitting the Razin and the Stake Your Soul. Not gonna lie, Vanquish Soul may not exist as a deck. May have to do some more testing, but the Stake Your Soul limit and the Razin limit, the deck was already pretty inconsistent, so it may be more of a K9 deck than a Vanquish Soul deck in order to survive. And the Crystron Inclusion, that is a pretty big hit for Yu-Gi-Oh! Players that want to play Crystron. The K9 variant may have to rely more on K9 cards. Let me know down below in the comment section, what is the biggest hit that you guys are seeing on this ban list? The Lacrima, I will say the time rules are different, so this card can completely come off. Moving to semi-limited, we got Branded Fusion, boys. This does make sense, and it also makes sense for Borreload Savage Dragon not to come off the list like we said before. We brought Borreload Savage Dragon off the list strictly because we knew we were getting support. Now, obviously, that wasn't going to be a real thing because the support is later on down the line. But we know that Branded is getting support. We know that True Draco is getting support. We know that certain strategies on this ban list is going to get more support. So Branded Fusion to 2 is very much welcome. It was actually really good. I think it's one of the better decks in Yu-Gi-Oh! And this is a really, really good semi-limit. Now, moving on to Unlimited, there was something that I was wrong about. I said that the unlimits don't matter. And I think there's a couple of unlimits in here that actually do matter. And by a couple, I mean actually just one. Global does not matter. Masterpiece does not matter. Morphing Jar does not matter. Sky Blaster, this could matter, but I doubt it. Same thing with Ash and Popular. Dragonic Diagram and Masterpiece, to be honest, they don't matter right now, but I think later on in the future, when True Draco gets more support, this could be huge. Dragonic Diagram could also be huge for dinosaur decks. We can go back to playing True King Dinosaur with Dragonic Diagram. It gives you more ways to destroy baby Sarasaurus, so that's a thing. But I'm not sure on how powerful it would be in 2025, right? Because this is a 7-year-old strategy, something definitely to test. I think the real important thing here is Lightning Storm. Lightning Storm to 3 is pretty solid for a Yu-Gi-Oh! Card. It allows players to be able to have another way to combat back row heavy decks. And with Solemn Judgment being limited, I think that back row heavy decks like Labyrinth are in trouble. But also this could be good against decks like Vanquish Soul, that actually do play like, you know, the Snow Devil and stuff like that and have their field spell. Those are really powerful cards to deal with. Yummy actually has quite the bit of back row that can be really troublesome to deal with. Draco Tail can present that back row. Not a lot of decks are playing that, but overall I think this is good. Zodiac Barrage plus the Zodiac Dryden off the list means that we possibly could be getting Zodiac support in the future, but it also means that Zodiac is not good. We should already know this by now. This list was, holy, my complete thoughts. It pretty much did exactly what we said, chat. This list said, we said on our video yesterday that this list will ban some problematic cards, as you can see. it will either limit the problematic decks to allow other strategies to play, or it will subtly hit cards to make you think that Yu-Gi-Oh will be going in a direction where more decks can compete. And this is definitely it. But I'm very interested to see what they have up their sleeve, because these hits make me think that Draco Tail, K9, and Yummy are definitely going to be the strongest deck still, or very strong. But it does give me a little bit of hope of some other Yu-Gi-Oh strategies being able to compete. Obviously, it's not that direct, because there's no direct correlation like Miss coming to 3, or maybe even something that would allow other strategies to be able to compete. I can't think of any, like Kid Kalos or something like that. But this does bring a lot of optimism from the Yu-Gi-Oh community. Let me know what you guys think about this list. My personal opinion, I am skeptical. As you guys should already know, I'm normally skeptical, but I'm pretty excited to see how the Yu-Gi-Oh meta is going to shape out. Again, let me know what you guys think down below in the comment section. Can't wait to see what you guys have to say. And of course, I'll catch you on the next video.